Good morning, friends. Today we are going to start the chapter number 7, triangles. Okay, so you know what a triangle is. A triangle is a closed figure made up of three line segments, or you can say it is a polygon. Yes, a polygon of three sides. So, this is a triangle with three vertices. The three vertices are this point A, B and C, the vertices. Now AB, BC, AB, BC and AC are the sides of the triangle. Okay, so the triangle has got vertices, the end points. So A, B and C, these 3 points are the vertices of the triangle. AB, BC and AC are the sides of the triangle, and these sides make an angle with each other. So AB and AC make an angle which we denote as angle A. Then BA and BC make angle, we call it angle B. And BC and AC make another angle, we call it angle C. We write angle A, angle B, angle C, but actually we can even write angle AS, angle BAC. Means it starts here, the angle is made here, or you can even call it CAB. So you can call it BAC or CAB. What does it say? BA and AC. The line BA or AB, BA and AC make an angle A. This we can call as ABC, because AB and BC make the angle B, and this we can call ACB or BCA, because AC and CB make this angle. So triangle has got three vertices, three sides and three angles. And the previous classes you even learnt, yes, triangles based on their sides. Based on their sides you have got an equilateral triangle whose all sides are equal, isosceles triangle whose two sides are equal, and a scalene triangle where no sides are equal. So we have got an equilateral triangle in that all the three sides are equal, isosceles any two sides are equal, scalene no sides are equal. Also we have based on angle an acute angle triangle where all the three angles are acute, a right angle triangle. So remember, in an acute angle triangle, all triangles are acute, means less than 90 degree. In a right angle triangle, one angle is 90 and the remaining two are acute. And an obtuse angle triangle in which one angle is more than 90 and the other angles are acute. So we have got triangles based on the sides, based on the angles also. Right? And you know, in an equilateral triangle, if you draw it, the three sides equal, then the angles are also equal, 60, 60, 60. In an equilateral triangle, the angles, all the three angles are equal, 60 degree. So this is the basic idea of triangles we have done so far. Now what is specific in this year, in this chapter, in the 9th standard, is we are going to learn and understand congruence of triangles. So just now we are going to do congruence of triangles. But congruence is not only for triangles. Now remember, this is a two-dimension shape, a triangle, and we'll see when we have different triangles, how triangles are congruent. But congruency is very necessary in everyday life also. Not only at 2 dimensions, but at 3 dimensions also. You know, all the objects we have at home, all the machinery, the bikes, the refrigerators, the computers, every part is congruent to each other. Means, every part means, suppose I go to repair my bike and is changing the spark plug of the bike. The new spark plug has to be exact size and dimensions of the old spark plug. In the computer, if one chip has to be changed, then the new chip should be in the same size and shape as the old chip, only then it will fit into the part. If you have a vehicle and you are changing the wheel of the vehicle, then the new wheel should be exact in shape and size as the old wheel. Yes, so that is where congruence comes into play. But this year we are going to see congruence of triangles only. So we'll try to understand what congruence is and which are the theorems related to congruence. So basic idea, what is congruence? Congruence means two shapes can be said to be congruent if they are of the same shape and same size. Okay? But it doesn't mean that everything of the same shape and same size is congruent. It has to be congruent, but the way we arrange it is also very important. Okay, I'll give an example. If you see my hand, okay, and the next hand, both hands you can see, when I place them one over the other, they exactly coincide. My fingers are coinciding. Same shape, same size, I can say both my hands are congruent. So my hands are congruent. But if I place them like this, then they don't exactly match. So though my hands are congruent, it is also very important how you place them. In the same way, two triangles are congruent. But if you change the orientation, they may not have the same congruence. So congruent is actually what? When things are equal in shape and size, you can say they are congruent, but their congruency has got a correspondence. Correspondence means in the way in which you arrange it. So we'll do an example in which things will be clear. Okay? I draw a triangle here. P, Q, R. I draw another triangle. X, Y, Z. Okay? Now you can see two triangles here, P, Q, R and X, Y, Z. It looks like they are of the same shape and the same size. But if I place them one over the other, then they may not exactly coincide. Okay? So if I put the X over P and the Y over Q, the Z may not come exactly on R. So I have to rearrange and put it in such a way. So if I put the Y on P and X on Q and Z on R, then it can be a correspondence. So the correspondence is written as PQR corresponds to what? YXZ. Means I have to put my Y on P, the X on Q and the Z on R. Only for this correspondence they both are congruent. So are you following what we say by congruence? Congruence means objects of the same shape and same size. The size is the same, the shape is the same. So when I place it one of they both are congruent. But it is not congruent for array correspondence. If I put PQR over XYZ, if I place PQR over XYZ like this, means X over P, Y over Q and Z over R, then it may not exactly coincide. So even though they are congruent, the corresponding is not proper. I have to rearrange it in such a way that my P comes over, Y comes over P, the X comes over Q and the Z comes over R. So what you can do is, you can take a piece of paper and cut out a few triangles and try to rearrange and put the triangle one on the other. Where the triangles equally correspond, one on top of the other, that correspondence is a congruence. Are you following the idea? So we are learning triangles. We have done different type of triangles and we know that. So imagine you got an equilateral triangle. Now what is an equilateral triangle? Equilateral triangle is in which all the three sides are equal. Let us say call it DEF. Okay. So do one thing. Draw a triangle and cut it on a piece of paper. Okay. Cut this triangle on a piece of paper and putting on it, you cut the two or three triangles of the same shape. Okay. Call one DEF, call one PQR, call one XYZ. Now this equilateral triangle, you turn the direction and try to put on each other. And what you will notice, that for every correspondence they will be congruent. Means, suppose I take DEF and I cut one more triangle of the same size. Okay, and call it ABC. Now these two triangles are exactly equal. All the sides are equal. Now if I place, so in an equilateral triangle, when you will arrange in any correspondence, all the correspondence will give you, if in one way two equal triangles are congruent, then on a correspondence they will always remain congruent. So now we are going to see, so I hope you have understood the idea of congruence. So what does congruence of triangles mean? When the corresponding sides are also equal and the corresponding angles are also equal. So let us summarize in brief. Yes? In brief, if we see, if you understood the idea of congruence, so what have you noticed? Two triangles are said to be congruent. Two triangles are said to be congruent if their corresponding sides are congruent, or the corresponding sides are equal, and the corresponding angles are also equal. So is it clear to you? I will draw it one more time to explain. So congruency is a concept. I hope you have understood the concept. We have got triangle ABC. And triangle PQR. So I can say these two triangles are congruent when I place one triangle over the other. If it is equal in the shape and size, the two triangles are congruent. But what is the condition given? The corresponding sides have to be equal. Means when I place this exactly over the other, then AB and PQ should exactly match, meaning AB should be equal to PQ. The corresponding sides have to be equal. Same way, BC should match with QR. BC should be equal to QR. And the third side AC should be equal to PR. So what we have seen here, when we place ABC, PQR over ABC, then if it exactly matches, then AB and PQ is equal, BC and QR is equal, AC and PR is equal. The corresponding sides are equal. They are matching exactly. And even the angle BAC should be equal to angle QPR. Yes, when I put one over the other, this angle also has to match. Similarly, this angle should also be matching. Angle ABC is equal to angle PQR. And angle ACB equal to angle PRQ. Even this angle has to match. So, for two triangles to be congruent, yes, now what is also important, remember I am trying to recall the idea. Two triangles are congruent. Now if you see, I told you before, the orientation is very important. Which correspondence we have taken? ABC corresponding to PQR. This is the correspondence. If I take ABC to QPR, it may not match. So when you take triangles, you have to arrange in such a way that the corresponding parts match. So here ABC and PQR, this correspondence is congruent. So how many conditions have to be satisfied? In total there are 6 conditions. The corresponding sides have to be equal, means AB should be equal to PQ, BC should be equal to QR, AC should be equal to PR, angle BAC should be equal to angle QPR, angle ABC equal to angle PQR, angle ACB equal to angle PRQ. When these 6 conditions are followed, then for this correspondence, we write it like this. Triangle ABC is congruent, this is the sign, equal to and a wavy sign, triangle PQR. So when you write triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR, you automatically mean angle A equal to angle P, angle B equal to angle Q, angle C equal to angle R. Or I can say angle BAC means angle A means angle BAC equal to angle QPR, angle ABC, the B, equal to PQR, and angle ACB equal to PRQ. So angle A equal to angle P, angle B equal to angle Q, angle C equal to angle R. This is the correspondence. AB equal to PQ, BC equal to QR, and AC equal to PR. When these 6 conditions match, we say the triangles are congruent. So this is the basic idea of congruence of triangles. When you have 2 triangles and some of the measurements will be given to you, you will match the measurements. Okay? So you have got a small exercise in the book in the beginning to check whether the triangles are congruent. So let us say angle A is 70 degree and this is also 70 degree. This is say 50 degree and this is also 50 degree. Okay, so automatically you know the sum of the 3 angles should be 180. So this will be 60, this will be 60. Say this is 2 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter, 3 centimeter, 4 centimeter, 4 centimeter. So everything is matching up. The corresponding sides are equal, the corresponding angles are equal. So the 2 triangles are congruent. So this is the basic idea of congruency of the triangle. So do remember that all the conditions have to be met. The corresponding sides have to be equal and the corresponding angles have to be equal. If only one of them matches, then it is not necessary that they are congruent. And for example, let us say the corresponding sides are equal. Yes, the angles will be equal, they will be. But if the corresponding angles are equal, it may not be necessary that the corresponding sides are equal. So when both these conditions match, yes, but now we are going to do certain axioms and theorems. How many we saw? 6 conditions. The corresponding 3 corresponding sides match, the 3 corresponding angles match. Means the 3 sides should exactly match and the 3 angles should exactly match. But now we are going to learn axioms that it is not necessary that all the 6 conditions match. Even when 3 conditions are matching, we can still say the triangle is congruent. So turn by turn we are going to see these axioms and theorems. So we have first of all an axiom 7.1 which is called the SAS. Now what is the meaning of SAS? Okay, if you look at the name, then the name given is side angle side. What is given? Side angle side. So let us try to understand axiom 7.1 SAS side angle side. We are given AB equal to 2 centimeter and PQ equal to 2 centimeter, AC equal to 3 centimeter, PR equal to 3 centimeter, angle BAC equal to 70 degree, angle QPR equal to 70 degree. Only 3 conditions are given. But still if you place this triangle over this triangle, means you can try to construct this triangle. Okay? Construct a triangle, you know constructions you have done in previous standard. So if you can do the construction and cut the triangles and practically try this out. You know how to construct triangles? You first draw AB. With the help of a protractor, draw 70 degree. Then draw AC 3 centimeter. Join this, you get this triangle. Cut that paper down. In the same way, draw PQR. Cut the triangle down. Place one over the other. You will find the triangles are congruent. So this axiom is accepted without proof. But what is this axiom? If in 2 triangles, you can see there are 2 triangles. If in 2 triangles, 2 sides, and you see this SNS, SS, it says if in 2 triangles, 2 corresponding sides are equal. If in 2 triangles, the 2 corresponding sides are equal and the angle included. What does angle included mean? Here which side I have taken? I have taken AB and AC. So which is the angle between AB and AC? It is angle A. So the theorem states, so go in the order. The theorem states, if in two triangles, the corresponding sides are equal and the angle included, means the angle which is given should be between the two sides you have taken. You cannot take this angle. If this side and this side is given, you cannot take this angle. Okay? If this side and this side is given, you have to take the angle included. So again the theorem, the axiom, if in two triangles, two corresponding sides are equal and the included angle is also equal, then the two triangles are congruent. By which axiom? SAS. So, if you are given two triangles, whose two corresponding sides and the angle included is equal, you can say by this axiom that the two triangles are congruent. And once you say the two triangles are congruent, means automatically the remaining things will also be congruent. So, if we say by SAS these two triangles are congruent, means we were given what? AB equal to PQ was given, AC equal to PR was given, and angle A equal to angle P was given. These three things were given. And with the axiom we showed that the two triangles are congruent, means now automatically angle B equal to angle Q, angle C equal to angle R, and BC equal to QR. So here you see what has happened. There were 6 conditions to be seen, but we have learned the first axiom that not all 6, even if these 3 are followed. A corresponding side, the included angle, and another corresponding side. If these 3 conditions are met, then the two triangles are congruent. So this is axiom with 3 conditions. There were 6 here. From 6 we have come down to 3. SAS means what? Side, angle, side. So in two triangles, if the corresponding sides and the included angle is equal, then the two triangles are congruent. So this we are going to accept without proof. Now we have theorem 7.1 called ASA. Now what does ASA mean? I am going to use the same diagram, but let us see what does ASA mean. Okay, I am using the same diagram. Let us see what does ASA mean. ASA means, let us say we are given angle B and angle Q are equal. Angle B equal to angle Q. These two angles are equal. This side BC and PQ. BC equal to PQ and angle C equal to angle R. So see what is given to us. In two triangles we are given. In two triangles, this angle is not given, okay? We are given in two triangles, two angles and the included side, means the side which lies between the two angles. What are we given? In two triangles, if two angles, corresponding angles are equal and the included side is also equal, then the two triangles are congruent. So it is a theorem, so we have to prove it. Okay, we have to prove. What we have to prove? If in triangle ABC and PQ are angle B equal to angle Q, angle C equal to angle R, and BC equal to QR, then prove triangle ABC is congruent to triangle PQR. We have to prove this. Now the proof has 3 conditions. Case 1, AB equal to PQ. Case 2, AB is greater than PQ. Case 3, AB is less than PQ. Okay? We are only given two angles and the included side are equal. But we are not told about the other sides. So we can take AC and PR also. I have taken AB and PQ. 3 things are possible. Either AB and PQ are equal, or AB is greater than PQ, or AB is less than PQ. Out of these 3 conditions, nothing else can come. Now, if AB is equal to PQ, let us see case 1. Let us see what happens in case 1. Let us say AB is equal to PQ. If AB is equal to PQ, we are already given BC equal to QR. This is given. Sorry, BC is equal to not PQ, QR. Okay, sorry for the mistake. BC is equal to QR. So we are already given BC equal to QR, and if AB equal to PQ, also given angle B equal to angle Q. So angle B equal to angle Q is given, BC equal to QR is given, AB equal to PQ is given. Then this becomes SAS, the axiom we did before. So if this is the condition, after this conditions, in the case 1, if AB equal to PQ, then we can say by SAS, the two triangles are congruent. Okay, that happens only if AB equal to PQ. If AB equal to PQ is given, then angle B equal to angle Q was given, BC equal to QR was given. So by SAS, they both are congruent. So this is true. In which condition? If AB equal to PQ, then this is true. Second condition, AB is greater than PQ. Okay. So if AB is greater than PQ, then I will take a point M over here. I will take a point M in such a way that now BM equal to PQ. Why I did this? In the second case, AB is bigger than PQ. In the diagram it is not looking like, but imagine AB is bigger than PQ. Because AB is bigger than PQ, I took a point, cut a point such that now BM is equal to PQ. Because AB is greater, I cut AB to BM. So BM equal to PQ. Again we are given angle B equal to angle Q, that was given, and BC equal to QR, that was given. So by SAS, which triangle is congruent? MBC is congruent to triangle PQR. Are you following what I did? In the first case I directly got, in the second case AB is bigger than PQ. Because AB is greater than PQ, I cut the AB small such that BM equal to PQ. So I took BM equal to PQ, I cut it in such a way. Already given B equal to Q, already given BC equal to QR. So triangle MBC and PQR are equal, congruent. So if they are congruent, then angle MCB equal to angle PRQ. Can you see? If these two triangles are congruent, then angle MBC is equal to angle PRQ. But it is given angle MBC, no, angle ACB is equal to PRQ. We should write the whole thing here, okay? I'll write it. Angle ACB equal to angle PRQ. This both is not possible. You see the contradiction? It was given to us this angle C, means ACB equal to PRQ. If AB is greater than PQ, we got these two triangles congruent. So MCB, not MBC, sorry, MCB. MCB equal to PRQ, but PRQ equal to ACB. So MCB and ACB can only be equal if this point M is actually on A here. Otherwise it cannot be possible. MCB is a smaller angle, ACB is a bigger angle. So when we got MCB equal to PRQ, but we are given ACB equal to PRQ, means MCB equal to ACB, but MCB can only be equal to AC when I move the M over here, means the M should come over here upon A. So that is nothing but the same point A. So second case it is true. In the same way, third case, AB is less than PQ. If AB is less than PQ, means PQ is bigger, I take a point M on PQ this time such that AB and QM are equal. Again we get the same way, so the theorem is proved. So what does this theorem say? This theorem says, if in two triangles, two corresponding angles and the included side is equal, then the two triangles are congruent, called ASA. So what have we learned so far? Let us summarize. We did SAS, that was without proof, and we have done ASA, means two angle and the included side. But from here we can even take one more called AAS. What is this AAS? Now if you see these two angles are equal, given the two angles are equal, but when you add up the triangle, the total should be always 180. So if these two angles are equal, automatically the third angle will be equal. That we know. If two corresponding angles are equal, the sum of these three should be 180. The sum of these three should be 180. If these two are equal, then these two are also equal. So automatically these two angles are equal. So angle side or angle side. What does it mean? If two angles of the corresponding triangle and the third side, which side not included? So when you take these two angles, you can either take this side or this side, not the side in between. So it's one and the same thing, but when you write in the sum, you have to be very careful which one have you chosen. If you have shown two sides are equal and the angle in between is equal, you will write by axiom SAS. If you take two angles are equal and the side inside is equal, you will call it ASA. If you take two angles are equal and the side outside it is equal, then you will call AAS. So this is very important when you prove any sum, that which of these conditions are you taking. So you can take SAS, ASA, ASS. But how will you write it down? You have to write it down like this. Angle B equal to angle Q. That was given in this sum. BC equal to QR and ACB equal to PRQ. So by ASA, the two triangles are congruent. So whenever you are going to prove any sum, you will have to mention which condition you have used. So this is the first part of congruency. I hope you have understood, but it might be a little difficult and you may not be able to understand at the very first try. Repeat the video 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Try to get the idea, try to grasp the concept of congruency. This topic is very important and in future you are going to use it a lot. So try to grasp the topics. In the next lecture I will make you do some sums. But for the time being you have to try to grasp the concept. So if you cannot understand at one go, repeat the video 2, 3, 4 times and try to very well understand the concept of congruency of triangles. I am going to end here. Thank you.